Okay, so we're going to find out how Thor gets revived in the Infinity Gauntlet post-Thanos destruction. We're also going to find out what Pip the Troll keeps under his loincloth. Let's get into it. Marshmallows. Spoiler alert, what Pip the Troll keeps under his loincloth is marshmallows, but we'll get into that. Hit that subscribe button because we're going through the Infinity Gauntlet Saga in its entirety.
You can also hear us talk about loincloths.
That's right. Different
Frequently.
kinds of...
We talk about it all the time.
We talk about...
Which ones are best for wearing in the winter versus the summer? Which ones are best to wash in the dryer versus hanging on a clothesline?
Dry
we pretty
cleaning.
much talk about loincloths and comics sometimes.
And leisure suits.
That too.
All right. So right now we are breaking down Doctor Strange issue number 35. This is awesome.
I was not ecstatic to start reading this. Like, these Doctor Strange comics have been...
Hit
or miss in my mind. Yeah, like some of them have been pretty trippy and cool. Some of them have been confusing and weird.
Last time we talked about Doctor Strange, we were discussing why he was the low-key MVP.
Right, because he's pulling heroes out of the battle with Thanos and kind of healing them, giving them a safe place to recuperate and strike back.
He's reviving them, and he's planning out a plan of attack, phase number 2. They already knew that Thanos was going to wipe them out, but they have to have a plan B lined up. And that's what Doctor Strange was doing the whole time. So we pick up this story post him going to take care of Doctor Doom.
Right. We saw that in the last video we broke down where they had the thing with Doctor Doom. They resurrected him. They fought a Shadow Doom.
Had to go to Tibet.
Right. Just a quick little detour.
Taking people back to their origin to revive them, at least characters that are a little bit beyond reviving. Doctor Strange has 2 different people that he wants to take care of, and by the end of this, he's going to save 4.
Yep, yeah, four separate heroes need rescue by the time this issue wraps up.
This issue takes place post-Infinity Gauntlet issue number 4, after the main attack, after characters get booted out of the battlefield.
Correct. It also takes place, naturally, after Doctor Strange 34, right after the events we just saw. It also takes place, which I thought was super cool, the way it opens, immediately after Hulk 384, which we broke down a long time ago.
That was an amazing issue. It was really nice to revisit that.
The Incredible Hulk 384, where he got shrunk down. He was in the sewer. He was talking to Abomination on his shoulder, pretending to be God. I had almost forgotten all about that stuff. And now we looked back, and the end of that issue, it ends with him getting sucked into like a time portal or something.
Yeah, Hulk even acknowledges. He's like, oh, here we go
again. Yeah, and we assumed that was him going back to the battlefield to fight Thanos again. We don't find out until this Doctor Strange tie-in, which, unless you were getting Hulk and Doctor Strange at the same time, which I can't imagine there's a lot of overlap in those markets. You find out that portal was not going back to Thanos, but that portal takes him to Doctor Strange's place. Super cool.
Extremely cool. Hulk has now been saved because in this process of going back to Doctor Strange being teleported, he grows back to normal size.
Brings him back to normal.
It's kind of a fun little chain of events. He's only shrunken for 1 issue, and it happens out of the Infinity Gauntlet run. But he has a conversation with Doctor Strange, being told that, hey, you need to wait here because we are assembling our round number 2. Hulk is this is a really fun sequence of events because Hulk is ready to go back to Thanos. He's like, we almost got him, man.
Cool, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we almost got him the first time, right?
Not at all. He just switched you to like short little Barbie size and drop kicked you out of here. You're one of the lucky ones. You didn't get turned to glass or had your bones evaporated or trapped in a glass box. Like,
Hulk
got off pretty easy.
Hulk says, we almost had him, except... And then Doctor Strange finishes his words. Thanos closed his eyelids. He blinked. You know, like we did not almost get him. This is bad news, man.
So you chill in this little dimension I'm going to drop you off in. Wait here. I'll be back. Then we'll go fight Thanos.
Let's talk about that page.
That page where Doctor Strange and Dr. Druid are like leaving that dimension and coming back to reality.
They leave Hulk on a little rock, floating in space in a different dimension, goes through multiple realities. And if you look at this page, there's like these circles.
Yeah, like rings that they're traveling through.
Each one of those rings.
You can see inside there. It's a completely different world in each one. It's very trippy. It's very Doctor Strange.
Absolutely.
I loved it.
They go back. They go back to Scarlet Witch. They go back to Rintrah. They go back to Pip the Troll. They're trying to assemble Thor because he's broken in glass, but they can't do it.
Yeah, that was one of the cooler parts of the last issue when we saw that they had gathered all the little bits of Thor and left them on a table. And I didn't really think they would do much with that. But
They're terrible at putting together puzzles, man.
yeah, when they come back, they're like, yeah, we didn't really get any of this work done. It's still just a table full of glass. Like, who knows what goes where? I don't know what you expected us to get done, but we didn't do anything. So thanks for coming back.
And
You try.
just like the whole Doctor Doom thing, you got to go back to the origin of these heroes, right? Like that's where Doctor Doom came back. So
That's their thinking here anyway.
where are they going to take Thor?
They managed to like sweep all the little shards up into like this white little satchel,
They couldn't even get a bag, man, or at least something with a lid.
right? Like a Tupperware.
What if Scarlet Witch drops one of the shards? Just Thor come back without a hand or something?
They're carrying a bunch of glass around in like a cloth pillowcase kind of thing. And
They're
it's
like, we got Thor. Thor's
no, you
in
don't.
here."
You barely got him, man. Like, secure that a little better because Doctor Strange is clearly like, be careful. If you lose one piece of Thor here, it might not work. We might not be able to put him back together. So be careful while you're putting him in that creepy little canvas bag that you happen to have.
No rope to tie the top or anything.
Nothing.
It's just got to hold on tight, I guess.
That's all right.
But they take Thor to the place where all Asgardians came from.
Yeah, this is the part of the issue that did not do it for me.
No?
No, I've never been a big fan of Thor and all of the realms and the gods and the Norse mythology and all that. And this issue gets really heavy into like Niflheim and the frost giants.
It gets heavy with very basic monster characters.
Sure, very
right?
basic.
That's what I would say. It's like
Yeah.
it's these creatures that represent the ice and the fire and where the Asgardians came from. And they're the only ones who can bring Thor back. And it's here where they don't want to bring Thor back.
No, they know these creatures realize that Doctor Strange and company are there to resurrect Thor, and they realize that like Thor has obviously been a giant pain in our side, like the frost giants, and then these fire trolls who are the spawn of Surtur. So both of these enemies, they're enemies with each other, but they have a common enemy here. So they team up to kind of fight Doctor Strange, and we get a few pages of combat action.
Nothing really. At the end of the day, Scarlet Witch saves the day by doing the spell to
Yeah.
make these glass turn.
I did like that.
Thor back.
Scarlet Witch, this whole issue has been kind of like, what am I doing? I'm not really like a witch.
What has she
It's
done
just
this
a name.
entire event?
Not much, really.
Oh, really? What she did? She saved Thor's life, kind of, because this isn't actually Thor.
She resurrects him. She does the magic while everyone else is fighting all the trolls and the ice monsters and whatever. She's off in the corner like, I think I'll just try. I'll try a spell and bring Thor back, and it works.
Mm-hmm. She's a mutant, but she is a witch. They don't think she actually can do it, but she does.
She's got some scraps. She brings Thor back to life, and he kind of announces to everybody that, yeah, by the way, I'm not the real Thor. That's why you were kind of having trouble putting me back together. You weren't sensing, the spirit of the Norse god of thunder because I'm some guy named Eric. I'm not really Thor. This is like a fake beard and a fake voice I got going on. Like, there was a scene in the Infinity Gauntlet battle where he loses the hammer and is not able to breathe in space or something because he's just a dude. He's a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody else knew that. I'm not current with a lot of these comics from that era, so I didn't know exactly that. I didn't know that nobody knew that wasn't actually Thor
Until this moment.
until this moment.
It's
Yeah.
revealed because he lets them know.
He comes clean.
That's right. And they find Thor and they tell him you got to kind of just sit tight. Now, this right here is kind of the most important part of this issue. It's kind of what makes the cover. I mean, the cover of this is Doctor Strange, but this is not the best part of this issue. The best part is finding out that because Pip the Troll and Rintrah was left back at Sanctum Sanctorum,
Right.
they're chilling. They're kind of feeling bad that they're not being useful. Like Doctor Strange is terrible at delegating. He mentions that in this issue that he's bad at delegating.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of sitting there waiting, and then they spot in the crystal ball, of Doctor Strangeness, that there's a couple of our heroes that are trapped back in time. Oh, we're going back.
That's so cool.
Yes. Oh, I like me 6 months ago was just hoping that this comic existed and we just found it. It's Doctor Strange, issue number 35.
They see a shot of Drax and Firelord stuck back with dinosaurs, which
How'd you feel when you saw that panel, dude?
I
jazzed,
didn't
dude.
think we'd actually get to see what happened to them. I thought like they would just appear back in modern day and be like, "Oh, we're back now. Like we had a weird adventure and
Right.
we're safe." But we get to spend time with them. I also think this issue did a really good job. We were talking about it earlier with Scarlet Witch. This issue did a really good job of building up storylines for like multiple characters in the issue that had like they had little arcs. Like Scarlet Witch had like this self-doubt that we were talking about, and Rintrah also had a really cool character arc about feeling useless. Like Doctor Strange is his master, and it's a master-apprentice sorcerer relationship that they have, but he's not really...
It's not being utilized.
He's not appreciating his apprentice or respecting him or even using him for anything. He's just like, you wait here, you hold everything down, we're going to go do some magic stuff, and you keep the lights on. Make sure the house is fine.
And that happens more than once in this issue.
Yeah.
But by the end of this issue, because things are going to turn out okay, we have a lot of character development. We have Scarlet Witch actually saving Thor. We have the revival of the Hulk. We also have Rintrah and Pip the Troll, who go to find...
They go back to dinosaur times through like a time portal that Rintrah makes, but he's still an apprentice, and this time portal just closes, and they're just stuck.
It's like, whoops.
We're all stuck now in the Jurassic era, and Drax is punching dinosaurs in the chest. Which,
this is awesome, man. This is everything I wanted.
Yes. If the whole issue was this would have been my favorite issue so far.
When this happened, the very first thing Ryan said was, "Oh, I miss Drax."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I really did. He's been stuck here for a long time, and even when he was around, he was still kind of in the background punching Thanos and being used for his combat, but we haven't seen like Drax be dumb and funny for a long time.
It's definitely something I missed. I don't realize it until this moment how much he adds to the story, and it makes me kind of disappointed that we don't have this even in the slightest really hitting the screen, this type of character. And I said that in the beginning, I'm saying that now. But we have Doctor Strange who comes to save the day, and it is this moment, this pivotal scene where Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Dr. Druid, they go through the portal to find all of these comrades eating marshmallows out of fire.
Sitting around a campfire eating marshmallows.
They're toasting marshmallows, man.
And my first thought...
The first thing is, where'd they get marshmallows? And
they answer it. They answer it right away that Pip the Troll always has an emergency stash in his loincloth.
He keeps them right in there, man, right by his jewels.
They don't show a bag of marshmallows anywhere.
I have to know, what does this marshmallow contraption look like?
Does he have like a pouch on the inside of that loincloth?
Is it like a baggie? And the baggie is like taped to a string that's taped to the loincloth, and that baggie is just sitting down there too?
I hope. Because that's the best case scenario.
There's a bunch of them. They're all eating them, and he's like, yeah, I've always got a stash. Like, how many marshmallows does he have? He's a small guy.
That's the emergency stash he chooses to have too. He doesn't have like smart food or like some kind of trail mix or, some kind of useful...
Trail mix would be... Like, that would make more sense to me. None of it really makes sense, but it would make more sense to me
than
a
marshmallows.
bag of marshmallows.
Hopefully there's a bag, because otherwise, he's attaching loose marshmallows to himself somehow. It's just don't think about it too hard, because it's weird and it's gross. I would have turned him down if you offered me some loincloth marshmallows.
Drax and Firelord, they're eating them up,
Like, man. The fire will burn away all of the weird troll bacteria that's probably on here. So.
Troll bacteria?
He's a troll. He's keeping marshmallows in his junk. I'm not going to eat that. I'm sorry. I'll eat a dinosaur.
You're telling me that you'll eat a dinosaur.
Or starve. Or eat the troll himself. We'll cook him on the fire. Eat his marshmallows. That was fun.
That was great,
I was super glad this sequence was in here.
I'm feeling like this story is wrapping up. We're getting so much resolution. Characters are getting like little story arcs that started in Infinity Gauntlet to an extent, but then ended in other series that I didn't expect them to.
I never would have read this issue if it was not for this entire project we've embarked on.
And I think it's fair to note that the first Doctor Strange issue that we crossed over, they went back in time to Egypt.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't expect this chain of events to happen in a Doctor Strange
You literally
book.
don't know what you're going to get. I think we've done 3 Doctor Strange issues. Yeah, and there was one where he time traveled to Egypt. The one before this, they go to Tibet to like have a battle with Doctor Doom's evil ghost, which I never would have guessed. And now they're traveling back in time to dinosaur times and resurrecting Thor and fighting frost giants, like all this stuff.
Fixing up Hulk.
Sure. None of this I would have been able to like guess, which is awesome. In the grand scheme of things, it's awesome.
Freaking comic books, dude. I love it.
This is super cool.
All right.
I think we're going to Infinity Gauntlet next.
We are. I checked before. It's a doozy. Whenever we do Infinity Gauntlet ones, it takes a little extra time.
Those are bigger videos.
They are. But hit that subscribe button because it's coming up soon. We got a lot more issues to cover. but we are coming to a close pretty
Not
soon.
too many more. Yeah, we're wrapping it up. I think we have one more Doctor Strange issue after this. And then, yeah, Infinity Gauntlet. There's another Hulk. But
Sleepwalkers in there somewhere.
yeah, we're wrapping it up. We're winding it down.
All right, buckle up. We're going to be finishing up the Infinity Gauntlet Saga, and then we got more breakdown goodness to come. So make sure to hit that like button too. And as always,
Geek responsibly.
enough
Said. Don't forget, comment down below. Enter in for a chance to win this Hulk Carnival of Fools. Let us know who you're most excited to see in Avengers Endgame, because for me, it actually is the Hulk.